From here you can see the magnitude of what Kenny has lost. Back there was a barn. This was the wood pile behind his house. Pat, that plane is now out of the pond. Not even half an hour ago, it was taken from here on a flatbed truck over to the Holton Airport where the wreckage will be stored. Now, crews from all different types of public safety agencies have been here all day long. They include Border Patrol agents, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Maine State Police, and a hazmat team. Aroostook County Sheriff's deputies and fire crews from area towns were here for hours, draining half the water from the pond, which is 30 feet deep. The generator set the vehicle on fire, which then spread to the garage and house. Officials say no one was hurt, but 3 cats were killed in that fire. Behind me is everything that's left of Creative Bloom. Not much, just the walls. Driving over here, we couldn't even see the car in front of us sometimes, and it wasn't more than about 10 feet in front of us. You just take a look at this roof over here. That's what we're dealing with. It might be hard to believe right now, but this boat that's on dry land could be in the water in about 3 weeks, full of passengers going back and forth between Bar Harbor and Winter Harbor. We still don't know very many details about what happened the day Larry Lord died. This is the book of the thousands of items that are getting auctioned off as part of this event. This intersection here in Brewer is one of the ones that the DOT says could be less congested if the connector is built. Even for this car, which is an all-wheel drive SUV, it's kind of a bumpy ride. You've got one wheel on pavement most of the time. Right behind me are some of the train cars that are pulling some of that metal out of the mill site. It's actually the bleachers for the Ellsworth Elementary Middle School football field. The pianos are going to go into permanent homes at the very end of this week.
All right, Dustin, do you want to serenade your coworkers a little bit? Because I hear you know how to play.
Absolutely, no problem. A group of legislators approved the bill to make lobster the official state crustacean in a committee meeting this afternoon. So now that bill is going to go on to the full legislature. You know what, Rob? I'm thinking maybe you and me should get together and we should have our own push to make Cindy Williams the official news anchor of Maine, too, while all of this is going on. What do you think?
I think that is an idea that would be met with near universal acclaim, Dustin.
One of our other top stories now. A man is in jail this evening charged with killing a baby in Millinocket.
State police are charging Jesse Mackin with manslaughter in connection with the death of Larry Lord. The baby was the son of Anthony Lord, who you may remember went on a shooting rampage through northern Maine last summer. News Center's Dustin Wlodkowski spoke with some members of the Lord family about Mackin's arrest. Dustin?
That's right, Pat and Cindy. Those family members are happy about Mackin's arrest. They say it could be a first step to finding out what happened to this child.
We talk about his smile because every time you saw him in a picture in person, he was smiling. And his eyes and how big, and you could just see how happy he was through his eyes.
Larry Lord's cousin, Melissa Robinson, only met him once. Now he lives in her heart. The same goes for Tim Robinson, the baby's great uncle, who was there when he died.
To watch his life, breath leave him was very, very hard. I mean, being with the military, we've all seen older people pass, and that's hard, but seeing a child that's not lived at all pass was very difficult. It affected me a lot more.
The Robinsons say they've found peace, knowing Larry can't be hurt by anyone. What they want to know now is the real story about why his life was cut so short.
He's in heaven now, and that he can feel no more pain, but we need truth. We need to hear the truth, and that would give us some type of peace, I believe.
The Robinsons have also learned something from all of this.
When I have my own family someday, I'm going to protect my family. I'm going to make sure that the people I allow my children around are good people and that they're not involved in drugs or violence or anything of the kind.
Now, Tim Robinson and his wife say they plan to be at Mackin's arraignment. That is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon here in Bangor.
First basketball game. My daughter's birthday.
Tanya Smith's children are growing up without her. It's too bright to see, but outside that window behind her is the United States, her home. She can't go there.
This is my life right now.
Tanya is a Canadian who married PJ, a Mainer, in 1996, but never got legal permission to stay here. It wasn't a problem until December 26th of last year when she tried to return home from Canada. U.S. Customs said she couldn't cross back.
My son graduates in June. I may not be there. My kids cry. And why wouldn't they?
It was weird getting ready in the morning, because instead of going to hug 2 people goodbye, you would only hug one.
Felicia's tears show how upside down life is for the Smiths right now. It's Christmas time, and Mom isn't around to decorate the tree.
People do take it for granted. And I was probably one of those people when it wasn't happening.
That was there for so many years, now it's just gone for a year and you don't know when it's coming back. It's like, just a big change.
A big change that all started with some small pieces of paper.
When it boils down to it, it's my fault because I didn't do the paperwork early. I mean, that's not something that she had to do. I had to petition for her to come over. She was coming over on my rights.
As soon as Tanya was stopped, the Smiths tried to get her back the right way. That hasn't happened.
It was kind of like it was a waste of time. It's like we've started to do things right now. Now we're getting penalized.
Her return is still in limbo. After being told the paperwork would be processed over the summer, the Smiths are still waiting for answers.
One day she would get news that she might be able to come home for at least like 2 days, then go back for 4 days. And then she'd get a call saying that she can't come home. And then it's been almost a year since she's been here, so.
The family has sent emails, made phone calls, and even asked Maine senators for help, but they've heard nothing. Meanwhile, time together is slipping away.
My 8th grade graduation is coming up. She might not be here to come help me pick out my dress.
Look what's between me and my children. And how long I've been waiting and waiting. It's just water. God walked on water, why can't I? It's been too long.
People in Dexter are rallying around a dairy farmer after his house and barn burned down.
Kenny Trafton is one of the last dairy farmers in town. So people are doing all they can to help rebuild what was lost. News Center's Dustin Wlodkowski brought us Trafton's story when the fire happened last month, and he joins us now with an update. Dustin?
Hi, Pat and Caroline. I want to introduce you to the cows that made it out of the fire. This is the smaller barn that they're all staying in right now. They've been in here all winter long and are itching to get out into pasture for the summer. And it's a little bit cramped in here, so Kenny and his friends hope that that will happen sooner than later.
The main thing is to get them out and get them back home.
Janice Novak has been helping Kenny get back on his feet since the day the fire happened. The GoFundMe page she created for him raised thousands of dollars after we shared his story.
In like 3 hours, we got just under $5,000 that night. It went crazy. Sometimes it gets rough.
She's lent Kenny some of her time too, caring for his cows while he rebuilds. A bit of an adventure itself.
It's kind of hard to see, and on the other hand, I'm learning how to be a dairy farmer in some sense. I'm still a little nervous with some of them. Some of the cows, they all have different personalities.
While his neighbors are doing his usual chores, Kenny can stay just down the road, sawing out his second chance. Each day the weather's nice enough, he cuts up donated logs into boards to build a new barn.
This one will be all mine, you know, my design, how I want it.
He's grateful for the generosity so many showed him, but can't wait to farm on his own again.
It feels very weird, even to the boys. The boys have said that to me 3 or 4 times, that they can't wait to get home where, you know, we know where we are.
In the meantime, the cows will stay in the barn another friend is letting Kenny use. Even if it's a little crowded, Kenny doesn't think they mind.
My cows are very content there. I cannot complain one bit, and I don't think the cows are complaining either.
Now there's going to be another fundraiser for Kenny in Dexter on May 6th. They're hoping that that's going to be able to pay for all of the rest of the construction costs that still need to be covered. And if nothing else, I have made a whole bunch
of really, really nice friends, and I hope that they get a nice home too.